6 o'clock. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the January 22nd, 2020 meeting of the East Long Meadow Conservation Commission. At this time, I'd like to ask if anybody in the audience is recording the meeting. Hearing none, we will just move forward. Item number 1 on the agenda is the introduction of our new commissioner, Erin Lynch. Welcome aboard.
Thank you. I'm excited. Thanks.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Jeff Bosworth,
Craig Bjornstrom.
Tom O'Brien.
Tony Zampicini.
Francis Cornacci.
And Erin Lynch.
Thank you. Item number 1 on the agenda is the request for the extension permit for Bella Vista Estates. This is something that has already been extended once or twice, I believe. Anthony, you want to come up? It is twice, isn't it, Anthony? And it's been extended, so this would be a third?
Third and hopefully final.
Okay.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
You just state your name and address for the record.
Sure, Anthony Carnavale, 1031 Tinkham Road, Wilbraham, Mass. 01095.
I was out there a couple weeks ago, and I was out there again last weekend. Things are looking pretty good out there. The erosion controls are in place. He has the matting inside the catch basins on the street, so there's no erosion going in there. And we've done these other extensions. I don't have any issues with doing an extension on this. Any other comments from the board? Questions? Anthony, any comments? Anything for us?
No,
Yep.
just getting through it and hopefully be the last extension.
Yep.
Oh, there's two copies.
Yeah, we got it. I'll entertain a motion for approval of the extension permit for Bella Vista.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Good to go.
Thank you.
Thank you. Continue. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Connie, real quick, after they sign it, you want it recorded, I assume?
Yes, sir.
Correct. Okay, so
Thank
I'll
you.
have Brian follow up with it. Okay, thank you. Have a good night. Thank you, everyone.
Just add the date of the, extension.
Perfect.
Today's date on it?
No, you don't think about the whole date, but the day that
This extension.
Yes.
Until, right here.
Extension that?
No,
No, he has a new one.
I believe it is 3 years, yeah.
Okay.
That'd be May 26th,
it's the last.
How long do
2023.
they last usually?
Well,
Right?
it's not 2020 yet.
3 years.
So I'm just confused as to why under B authorization is hereby extended until the date's crossed off and then date the order was last extended is May 26, 2020. Aren't we in January 2020?
Yeah, that should be 17, I would say then.
Well, it looks like it says on the authorization form 2010, May 26, 2010, on the first page. So maybe it's a
Right, but
typo.
it was extended,
Something is whited out there.
Yeah, I whited it out because the applicant had filled it in, and I think you guys are supposed to fill it in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Where is it?
First page.
Oh, date order was last extended, that's wrong.
So that was 2019?
Well, it looks like it was last extended on the next page. It says July 26,
Yeah.
2017,
Yeah.
until
That is extended.
until the 26th of this year,
Right,
Oh.
2020.
there you go. So the first page needs to be.
So then, yeah, that May 26 date is wrong. It's July 26,
Of?
2017.
2020.
20,
What are we filling in?
yeah, she's right, 2020, July 26th.
We're looking at the first page?
Oh, I
or
wonder
the
if they did it
second?
in May, when they do it 2 months earlier.
It looks
But so we're
like,
just gonna go to,
Craig, you're on the first page, right?
right, but on the second page, it was
Right.
done,
That's not
It was, the
26.
extension was given on the
Right.
7th, July 26, 2017.
27.
It should have been extended till May, or July 26, 2020.
Where is that? What
Page.
we'll go to 2023.
Right here.
Right?
From here, see here? That's
Oh,
one of those.
down.
You gotta
Okay.
change that to from
The signature.
July to May.
but it says extended until May 26, 2020.
Right.
Right, but
It should be
if you look
July.
at, it
So
should be
it's
July.
this time.
By that, because this is when it expired.
I think if you look at that, so flip to the second
Oh,
page,
okay.
book 218616, page 193, you'll see that the 2010 order was extended until May 26, 2020.
Oh, okay.
I think you're trying to be proactive, and
Okay.
perhaps what they meant by, when they filled in May 26, 2020, that was the date that this was extended to, but he's looking for 3 more years to May 2023.
Yeah, I
Oh,
think, you know
he
what
is
I did, I
wanting
think
to
we gave it to him late.
So
I
he
think
is
that's what
wanting to
happened.
extend it again.
No, I'm not sure.
You're right.
We gave it to him late.
You're right, I remember that,
Yeah.
or they didn't come in quite
Yeah.
in time, but we
So we
extended it anyway.
gave it to him anyway, even though they were a month or 2 after.
Okay, does this have to be dated today?
So just stick with the original day of May
2023, though?
2023. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is gonna be,
Okay, so the new extension will say May 26, 2020 to
2023.
May 26, 2023.
so there's that one.
Mike, you want to come on up?
Let me do the minutes for.
Oh, wonderful.
Approval of the minutes.
So what we're doing is
Oh.
delete it out.
Yeah, we get that.
2023.
No, that's going to be the new one.
You like that, Mike?
I do.
We don't want to distract you.
Whose slideshow is it?
Good question.
We continued the public hearing. At our last meeting, we did conduct a site visit last Saturday. A couple of the abutters were out there. Does anybody have any comments from the board?
Your signature. Excuse me.
Yeah. I did some research on the assessor's website and the town website on that parcel. It has changed hands quite a few times, and I meant to print it out for everyone, but the brook is in the back.
Right here.
Yeah, the wetlands
But
are,
it doesn't show up. But there is a runoff from
it's
starting
going
in
into
here.
the, I can't pronounce it.
The Pecosic?
Pecosic, which is way down here.
But it's, all that is wetlands. And
Down
the,
here.
yeah,
And not
and
up
it goes
here.
back into wetlands too.
Right, down here, but,
Yeah,
well,
all right, so
I see no
the
problem.
grading of the area where the proposed house is to be built, right?
This is where the
It's
runoff-
all going down that hill, right? Going down towards wetlands.
Correct.
And towards Smith, the
It comes
paper street.
underneath here, from here.
So if he builds there,
And it goes down like this.
with the erosion problems the neighbors already have there, I mean, tree
It
bulbs
doesn't
are
show up.
exposed, right? In that area along the intermittent brook.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's gonna cause more
Goes
water,
down.
more water going into that
Huh?
area
Goes down
to
there.
build there.
Yeah, just like,
He's in the buffer zone,
That's
he's
your
in the
house.
100,
That's-
he's in the 100-foot buffer zone. Half of the house, right, would be in the buffer zone.
Correct. The edge of the property was pretty much the 50-foot buffer zone line, correct, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Just cutting across a little bit in one corner.
lowest edge of the property pretty much parallels a 50-foot buffer.
Right.
So I have some objections to that being built there because of the situation. That's my piece. I feel like nothing's been built there since the property was first bought. And I'm wondering why, you don't see the why here, but you do see it changing hands.
Mhm.
And there's nothing, come on, pass it down.
oh,
And there's nothing that's been built around it either, the next lot over, because it's very wet. And the day we went, just walking through, there was mud.
Mhm.
And you can't see the real foliage because it's winter. So
Right.
I have an objection. I think it's going to cause more problems for the wetlands and for the neighbors, but mainly for the stream that leads into the big wetlands in the back, and to the brook, you know. Sorry.
Comments from any other commissioners?
I don't think it's gonna change. The water is what the water is. I mean, as long as it's, the water off the impervious surfaces is mitigated correctly, it's really not gonna change the amount of water flow that's going down that intermittent brook or whatever you wanna call it.
What are the
It is a wetland,
mitigated
yeah.
conditions? Are we gonna give an order of
Um,
conditions?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's,
We can stipulate anything we want in the order of conditions.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Drainage.
So what would be some of the mitigating things that you would want to put in there? What do you suggest?
If I may.
go ahead, yeah.
One of the things I was thinking of that I almost don't know with this house how we would not do it is, well, I'm not exactly sure what they're called, but one of those grates with some rocks under it to drain
dry well.
in front of the garage door, because the water is kind of running that way.
So it's a dry well?
even if it goes
A dry
off-
well, right? Dry well?
No,
Well, the
you
general
know,
is
like
for
the 4-inch
drainage.
wide one that would go the width of the driveway?
Yeah, but they
Right in
usually
front of the
drain-
garage door.
drain to somewhere.
It's like a French drain.
Does the
type
French
thing.
drain, is that used now in construct, is that used around the house? Because I had that in my opinion. Would that be something that would be helpful?
There would be one associated with the footing, yes. And it's not gonna be very deep because the garage floor is basically at or slightly above grade at the lowest portion of the garage. So the footing's gonna be at the same, basically at the same level of, as the garage floor. So that, at the deepest point, the French drain would be 3 foot deep. And we
Depth
put,
isn't the important thing, it's discharge.
yeah, and, you know, there's room for a dry well rather than putting it in, the driveway's set up to come down and then back up to the garage floor,
Oh, okay.
you know, so
Yeah.
water's not gonna be right at the garage door, it's gonna be halfway from the
Right,
street.
and then
So at that
across the
low
lot.
point, just off the driveway, we could set a dry well. And the biggest part of mitigation is, on this plan, is the site revegetation plan. We have a schedule for seeding the lot as soon as grading for the house allows. And of course, we say that this erosion controls, the silt fence or hay bales are to remain in place until the site is totally revegetated. And that's really the most important thing here is getting the surface of the land back into being absorptive to rainfall and the little bit of runoff that comes off the roof. So, to me, as a professional, the most important mitigation is site revegetation.
And I agree with that the site will absorb some more water if there is actually something growing there.
If it's properly
Right,
revegetated.
versus,
And,
Do
and,
we have his plan that he's referring to?
yes, yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering if
How about the
there's a
downspouts?
copy that I can look at.
Because you two big ones in your roof, in your driveway. Your roof is your major one.
Yeah, and it's not a large roof, so that roof would probably allow for 4 or 6 downspouts, which would simply go to a splash pad and go into the lawn area. I mean, we're not talking a massive house here, we're talking a house that's 26 feet by
Another
50,
Yeah,
So I'll pass it.
54
26 by
feet.
54.
Yeah.
I see no problem. As a matter of fact, I think it would enhance the area, it's such a mess. I mean, it's loaded with invasive plants down there.
Oh, it's just an
And that
invasive.
little runoff water that goes down, doesn't even show up on the Google.
one of the other things that, not necessarily our purview, I guess, but it somewhat is because there are wetlands associated with it. This should eliminate a lot of the illegal dumping that's going on there.
It's a mess.
Or cut down on it, because it is pretty bad.
It is.
People are just pulling over there all the time and throwing things out of their vehicle.
Well, there'll still be an empty lot next to him.
You got the paper street.
Yeah, but if you
And the
live
street.
street,
Yeah,
if you have people living there,
They might not, but they might.
they're gonna be
Yeah.
disinclined.
And that goes, and the elevation on that paper street is higher than the lot.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it is.
yeah,
It goes up. You're in a gully, he's building his house, looks like this.
yeah. The rainwater from the street goes down into a catch basin,
Driveway's up higher.
right in,
The paper
down at the
street's
low
up like
level.
this.
Because when-
Then-
and it goes right into
When I
that
walked,
wetland.
I walked down and kept walking down to Smith, to the paper
Right,
street.
but
Hmm.
So why,
But
how
this
can
is-
that be higher?
this is a higher elevation than that lot.
Where?
Okay, this is where he's building.
Yes,
This is the paper street.
yes.
And
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 this
this
is
part is
The
lower.
intermittent brook
Brook is down,
right.
no, is right here. It's down here in the backyards of Patterson.
Okay.
That's where the brook
On
is.
the other side of the street,
It comes
But-
over underneath a pipe,
right here.
and it comes down, you can barely see it, and you just,
So you're telling me that this is lower?
this part's
I mean,
lower.
higher or lower?
Paper Street's higher, then it pitches downwards. From here down,
Yeah, as you go towards Patterson, it
Yeah,
still
it's all
drops from the
pitched down, it
paper
goes down
street.
like that.
There's not a copy of. He's right here,
Yeah.
topographical, all right? That's 98 feet above sea level, that's 102.
Yeah.
Here's your discharge, this is at 94 feet, and you can follow the lines. So 94 runs like that, 98 runs like that, so this is gradually sloped up.
But honest, didn't we walk straight down when we were at the?
That may represent
part is
fill
lower.
after that's completed. I mean, are you bringing fill in on that? Or are you
No,
gonna use the
we're just
fill from
using
the-
what's
from the-
there.
from
Yeah,
the
it's pretty much
cellar hole?
staying, right?
Yeah.
The
So
cellar
you're-
hole's gonna
so it's
come
like
out.
a gully, it's
Yeah.
lower. That lot.
Is that a raised,
Raised
raised foundation? I mean, is it a full foundation or is it a raised foundation?
Well, it could go either
Oh,
way.
no,
It could go
from
a
the street,
foundation
it went like
at the
this,
level
and
of
it's
the
come down and
garage,
Went in.
or it could
That's how
go
driveways
a
go.
raised ranch.
Go down.
It's not, it could go either way.
You don't know until you start.
No, I haven't actually seen the house plan, the architectural plan. I've been given the footprint.
But we haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen the house plan. We've just seen the lot.
Well, the footprint
The footprint.
speaks
Yeah, always
for
there.
That's all.
what's going on in the lot.
Right. So, revegetation, some kind of a drain system. I could go for that, that's all right.
You have to,
I'm gonna abstain because I didn't see the site, but yes, I would prefer that we protect the
Yeah,
based on this.
Some sort of drainage that would maybe grab the water off the driveway in the front of the house and then leach it slowly into the soil.
Yeah, we
Or a
can
dry well.
put a dry well, just, say 10 feet off the driveway. A dry well with a grate
Yep.
that catches the runoff from the driveway and puts it into the ground. That can be easily added. You can incorporate it as a condition.
Sorry, Tom.
No, sorry.
Yeah, and then maybe grab it off the front downspouts as well.
Be all right with that? Drive for the downspouts too, Mike, on the front?
down, yeah.
We can do them there too.
Yep, okay.
Yep.
And we'll just add those in the conditions, or we can add those in the conditions. Any other comments from the board? Is there anybody from the public that wishes to comment on this? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
so moved.
All those in favor?
All right.
Sorry, just got a comment.
Yeah, I honestly think here, I do believe when we get vegetation growing there, and even when we take some of these extra measures, I don't see how it would be possible to measure the impact of the runoff from this particular site. And I did stress out there the last time?
She needs to sign it.
Oh, I did stress out there the last time because they're concerned about how much that water has come up. And I know, we told them to contact the DPW. You know, there could be a clog in a culvert or something on either side. That is a whole separate issue. So we did stress that to them. But anyway, I'll entertain a motion to approve the notice of intent for Robin Street, Smith Avenue with the French drain and the downspout dry wells that we discussed.
And I'd like to add the revegetation with native trees and
Oh,
plants.
yeah, that's in the plans.
It's in there.
Yeah.
Okay, we haven't seen them, so.
It's in here.
Oh,
It's all in the
okay.
pool.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yep.
All right.
So moved.
There's a
I'll
second.
second it.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck.
Sorry.
This your last project?
I hope so.
Don't kid yourself.
This was kind of a leftover that was hanging around for a couple of years.
Unless Ray
Move
comes back.
forward slowly, so my apologies.
All right, good luck, Mike, good seeing you. The next item on the agenda is the enforcement orders for Redstone.
He sent that letter,
I was gonna get to that, but I was just gonna I did go out Saturday and took a bunch of pictures. You can pass those around to see the work that he did on the erosion controls, but I did not even open that letter up. Is it in our packet?
Yes.
yeah, so he sent a letter that he was gonna be out of town.
Today.
No, it was, wonder what kind of, was that letter received like in,
Today.
Yeah, it's for today's meeting, January 22nd.
that was today?
That's today, 22nd.
We are not able to attend the hearing scheduled for January 22nd as we are out of town. So we have this report. It's in our packet. He's trying, but you went and saw.
So Craig, everything you, is this all post, I mean, it said in his letter, he addressed everything.
Yeah, I put there the
That's a
lot
stump
numbers
back down.
with, and that picture there was just the stump that went back in the hole.
Yeah.
When was your site visit?
Last Saturday.
It looks like you
He did do a lot.
did a lot.
Yeah.
Tony, I went out with him the day after or was it 2 days after the meeting, I guess, and we walked it, we gave him recommendations, and he pretty much followed what we recommended.
You pass it on your book.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what the board's avenue would be.
I guess
Want to see it?
the issue that I would have with this letter, the one right now, and it's not a huge deal, but it still kind of is regarding the limited work line markings, because they were never really sufficient to begin with. And as far as I was concerned when I was out there, and if you look at the pictures, you can see some pretty good areas there that you really don't see them in.
Isn't that the orange flags?
Yep, but he
Did he
put in
say-
here that he put some blue ones in there too, or,
They're visible.
They're orange.
Okay, basically, if I could clarify that,
please.
while we were out there, I brought it up, and he had a wetlands consultant do the pink flags. And I told him that usually they're color-coded, one for the edge of the wetland and a different color for the limit of work line. And he said, well, I went by and tried to make them more visible by adding a blue.
Huh.
And I said, well, it's not really supposed to be multicolored, it's supposed to be one color represents one thing and one represents another. And then he said, I can't add more flags in between where the wetlands consultant flagged. And I said, why not? You know, Laura said, well, then have a wetlands consultant come out and add more flags. But I said, the other thing is, I said, a lot of the flags that were the limit of work line were put on branches or whatever that have snapped off, broken off, trees have fallen, knocked down things. One of the pictures I have in the previous one is, one of the blue flags is down underneath a wattle that was on a little tiny twig that broke off. And, you know, we recommended remarking, and that's what I said in the limit of work, in the enforcement orders, was to remark the limit of work line and do it with stakes instead of twigs and so forth, which, you know, can disappear, break off, trees fall,
And we commented that on the very first site visit out there with Mary Ellen,
yes, I remember we did that.
way in the beginning of the project.
And I said they should be within a sightline visible view and not, well, I think there's one down over there. You should be able to readily see it. I said if you put them every 25, 35 feet, so you can visibly see the limit of work line. And that was what was recommended. And so I guess that's what he's saying here by he put some orange stakes in, or stakes with orange flagging on it.
So I don't know, the blue dictates wetland. That's pretty much industry standard. So,
Well-
the limit of work line can be any color. And generally,
Exactly.
on a project like that, they're gonna mark it to like dictate where the trees are cut.
Well, whoever originally delineated the edge of the wetland used pink. And then Al went
They
back,
may use pink as the limit of work line.
well, they did pink along the edge of the wetland. And that's from the very beginning. And then he went back and added blue next to the pink.
Right.
So it'd be easier to, or so he said could see. Because what's happening with the high winds, these things are getting, in weather, they're getting faded, and some of them are just ripping off, so you just have a little tiny shred that's there. And, you know,
No, right, but to what end, like they cleared to the, whatever the limit was, and then they generally put silt fence or wattles generally everywhere where they were supposed to. I think they were lacking in a few spots, but I think you guys addressed that,
Sorry,
and
what,
they added to it, right?
speaking of that, what is this? That looks kind of messy.
That's
No,
some
that's
old
actually-
wattles and some new wattles.
They put all new
And new
wattles
silt
in.
But,
fence too.
but they don't
Yeah, it can,
continue.
it goes
Yeah,
all the
there
way
may not
down
be
here.
necessity.
All
to
the old
continue.
ones are brown.
There is definitely a couple spots, I think.
But these are the ones that were damaged.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Depends on
But
the
there is a
system.
couple spots like that one maybe, and maybe another one where
Up here.
he repaired and repaired on each side of it, but some of this in the middle still needs some attention.
Exactly, that's what I
And for the most part, I put the lot numbers down on that piece of paper.
Okay, so that still needs some
Yeah.
attention.
And so I guess we can still talk to him about the flagging. Al is very responsive in doing things.
Sorry, what about these hay bales just sitting there? Those are to be.
Work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you
I
probably-
guess.
Right.
They were just extra ones that were there.
Well, he
or
brought it when we
something,
went
yeah.
down. He had it ready
Yeah.
in case he,
One of the things that I noticed there, though, and from when he did it before, and I handed that sheet out, this to Aaron and Francis, the wattles, if you look at the installation procedures for those, it actually says you're supposed to put a shovel in the ground and dig a little valley, and then you're supposed to stake them down.
I was wondering, how are
And that
those gonna stay
really hasn't
in
been done. They're
place?
just set on the ground.
They can't stay in place.
And that was part of the problem with the initial ones. When you got a real strong runoff, and these wattles are bigger, I will give them that, but the other ones, yeah, some of the heavier runoffs just pushed them out of the way, I believe, which is something that definitely
There it is.
happened, but, so we can, I'll send a draft, I'll do a draft for a letter on this, and we'll talk about that, because one of the other things, and I had it from the minutes of the meeting to talk about, that we just need to stress to Al that, yes, he did some things that we recommended, but we are not the environmental erosion control engineers here. Just because we recommended something, if you do it and it doesn't work, he's still on the hook for it.
Right. so-
It's not us, and, we stated that in the last meeting, that if he needs to hire an environmental engineer to tell him how to properly construct erosion controls, he has to do it.
Yep.
And the other one that's there is if you look at the, it's in there in the plans where the hay bales are there, and it's the one that we did not do the enforcement order for, which was lots 3 and 4. And I'll just kind of draw it in here. Essentially, that's about where it goes. And it kind of ends there. This
That's all
erosion
upland
control
right
goes
there,
right
isn't it?
here. No, this is a wetland line right here. But, and that's the
Oh, at the
100-foot line,
back
but
of
he
it?
was supposed to do this silt fence out here, but it's never been done.
Sorry, can I interrupt to ask a question? sir?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Can Margaret come and sit behind me so she can see some of this? Is
Sure.
that okay?
Yeah.
And then you can look at it.
Remember, he said because of the grade, that's why that one was never done.
Come on in.
This one here because of the grade conditions.
It's kind of boring,
And
so-
essentially, it just goes down here straight and stops.
So,
What happens is where that detention,
This is, I'm sorry, Jeff, go ahead.
where that detention basin is, and you can see where the topographical lines are, it all slopes down and funnels in there. And as a matter of fact, the overflow drain or that detention basin all flows right out into that same area.
Flows into here.
No, it flows down,
To where, here?
Oh, this is the overflow drain he's talking about,
Yeah.
yeah.
this is high, and this
That's what I
is,
thought.
and everything flows right down into here. And then the outflow from here goes down into here. And when we
Is
were.
the outflow installed?
Yes, it is. This is, and when Tony and I were out there with him, we went over and just showed him this area. I said, we didn't do the order on that, we should have, but I said, if you look on this side of the silt fence, you see a lot of clay silt. You look right on the other side, and you see the same clay fill, where the water was just either running underneath or it was going over the top.
That's where the picture
I thought there
was, and it
was-
showed it, and it was a foot deep right there.
Yeah.
Just right up next to the silt
You're
fence.
telling me there's a discharge in this
That,
basin?
Yes.
that is only supposed to be the discharge for the 100-year storm. That's all it is supposed to be for. That was what
So
Alice
it's-
Woodward came and expressed concerns about when we first started this.
Right, so there should be nothing leaching through it.
Well, there.
You're saying there's stuff leaching out here?
No, what's happening
No.
is, there's nothing coming out of this, but it's all flowing down here.
No, it's getting right by it.
Because this is all going up, this is going up, but it comes here and around here, everything is flowing down into
All
this
right.
point.
Yeah, so
And this whole area is
He needs a
flooding.
silt fence this whole thing up.
Yeah.
Well,
He's
the
got
silt
a
fence
fill.
goes, it goes all the way out to like here. That's
It's
where,
not
it's in the
catching.
pictures, but what he never did was this one out here. 'Cause and that's the thing, he is moving rapidly, even though it's this time of year. I'm amazed at how much the grade changes every time I go out there.
Yeah,
You know, and he references in his letter, I mean, and that's why some of these things were not an erosion issue before, but boom, all of a sudden they are now, because, you know, he just moved 300 yards of red clay out of the way.
So what you're saying is he installed silt fence here, but not as.
Right, that
it was-
never went out there.
It was supposed to go here and then up here.
right.
Yeah, and
There was no
continue the
silt
rest of
fence
the way
here.
up.
and that's lots 3 and 4?
Not by the plan, there was no silt fence.
That's
there.
on lot 4.
But he-
On lot
Lot
four,
But
yeah.
he put it there. You're saying he made it a straight line.
And we gave him the
Adjusted.
okay because of the way the grade was, it was up real steep and all that. These are like the new grades that he put in there, but, so now those are there, it needs to get put in there.
We don't have a
So
picture
just
of all
tell him he needs to
lots.
fix
I
it.
wanna go over.
Sure, he says he's.
And they'll be changing again.
I think he's in Florida on vacation, but
No.
No, he's out
It
skiing
sounds
again, he
like-
always goes skiing in the winter.
or wherever it
Yeah.
was.
Do you have those other pictures? Just gave you.
He's always been responsive, I mean, I'm sure.
Yes, he
Tell
has.
him what you want.
I mean, and I agree.
No, the ones I gave you from the last
But
meeting.
my thing is, I just want to be sure that he's aware that just because, I don't want him to come back and say, I did what you guys asked, it's not my fault, if he's still got a river of clay going into the quarry, because it is still his responsibility, even though we gave him a recommendation.
Yeah, that's it.
It's just that we're not the environmental engineers. You need to do it, because, and we said it at the last meeting, you need to do whatever you need to do to be sure that this isn't going to
That's-
happen again.
That's,
Yeah, that's lot 4.
Yeah, he clearly needs
And he has hay bales down in front of that now, hay bales or wattles, I'm not sure, but it's in the
Well,
picture.
he only had silt fence, but he put the big wattles in after I
Yeah.
recommended he do that.
Yeah. Bruce and I were talking about this. He was saying that some of that, the red pan will actually filter through.
Mhm. And it's our job to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, so he just needs to,
How long is this project?
you know what, I could go out there and look at it and
A
probably
year.
tell him where to put stuff in about.
Year and a half maybe even, I think, yeah.
Could I see that top one, Tom?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that stuff's all, I mean,
Yeah, look at that.
unless it's filtering through
Oh,
the filtration,
What a mess. Oh,
that stuff is easily fixed.
This is, okay.
And
I understand
go
what
to
you're
Becky
saying,
for
Craig,
the
though.
file, and
It's-
those
if
are
he's not-
labeled with the lots.
If he's
you
not
know.
stopping it, then he needs to hire somebody that's gonna
The only thing that,
tell him what to do.
Yeah.
those aren't dated, they should be dated 1/18.
Okay, big houses.
Those are when those, all those
And-
pictures were taken.
And frankly, I am still extremely concerned about what's gonna happen there this springtime.
Everywhere.
Yep.
yeah. And the buffer zone is how many feet?
25.
I just can't believe that.
Anybody else have any other comments or anything for Hidden Ponds?
Nope.
And we can talk to him, but, I mean, he's more than welcome to come, but at this point, we're just monitoring for now, because I'm assuming it might stay cold for the next, month or so, and we might not get a lot of
This weekend.
runoff from melting.
This weekend rain.
Oh, is it really?
Saturday, we're gonna get rain.
Rain or
instead.
Now they think it's more rain, but it's
Yeah.
too early. In the valley.
Fantastic. Well, we could always go out again.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
Bring your boots.
Project monitoring. Hallen Terrace,
You gotta
the
wear
sign's
your
up.
badge or your hat.
I don't have.
He did put it up, I don't think he sent a picture or anything, but I did drive by there and saw that it was up. The other one that I did on Saturday also, and I just did attach a picture, Bethany has them, is I took the pictures of the erosion controls at Purv Street. And he turns a little bit, it's 5 feet away from the guardrail. Where that, on North Main Street, where it
Is it
turns up.
5?
Yeah, 5, 6 feet, that's all it is, yeah, it's pretty close.
What are we talking about now?
Maybe add
Sorry.
it to it.
Purv Street.
We were busy
Is that
looking at
Purvis
all
Street?
this. Purvis.
Yeah, but, other than that, the stuff looked good out there.
One question I have. Did we send him a letter about it was okay for him to clear the trees?
For Perv Street?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I would say we can do that, I don't have an
Yeah.
issue with them starting to clear.
yeah.
Anybody here?
As long as they're right there putting that silt fence in where those, they said they weren't putting in because of tree debris.
That was done, it was in the picture. that I
Oh, was
took.
it?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
yep.
I just heard the part about the 5 feet from the guardrail.
Mhm.
So we're gonna allow them to start clearing?
Yeah.
Does he have actual plans yet for when
I
you're
don't
gonna
know
do
what
there?
that is. So-
No.
It's gotta be a
So-
small
No,
building.
okay. It's a project, we're monitoring it.
He has it up for sale already. Built a suit.
The other one that I had for project monitoring, and it says here, project is listed on the
It's just
spreadsheet.
Project monitor.
Are these discussions and the comments making it onto that spreadsheet, and
Oh, maybe
can we
not.
start doing that again, or? And I guess too, is that something we can put comments in the box on?
I'll see if I can get it onto the Google Drive, and then you'll be able to access it and add comments.
Whatever that means, okay.
Sorry, can you email us how to access it,
Yeah,
especially for Aaron?
absolutely.
I mean, if we all get it, it's fine, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, because you could save a lot if we can just go in there and type in a sentence or two in the comments.
And also see the whole list of our
Mhm.
project sites.
Yeah, 'cause-
Usually it's, and she can send you an invitation and you just download the Google Drive and then you can save it onto
Oh,
your,
okay.
And it will, every time you update, it will update for everyone else as
Oh,
well.
good, thank you. That would be
You
great.
have to save
Google
it
Drive, I don't know.
like you do with a document.
yeah, you have to save it to your desktop
Do
or
you use
wherever.
Google or Gmail
Yeah.
or anything?
I have a Gmail, but I
Then you
use
have a Google
Comcast,
Drive.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can show you something.
Anybody else have anything, project monitoring
You
wise?
have a phone,
Yep.
a rotary phone.
I had stuff, but now I can't.
I didn't hear the question.
What's
And
that?
anybody else had anything, project monitoring, anything they stopped by and looked at?
If I could just make one comment, we're getting a lot of side conversations going on and people aren't paying attention to the main focus.
I
So
know,
if we could
sorry.
just say through the chair and raise your hand.
Thank you.
So we kind of have control.
So
Thank you.
noted,
Yep.
so noted.
Um,
It's all this stuff that we need to,
One of the other things that we used to do, but we stopped doing it a couple years ago, I'm gonna say, when the changes were made and we were out of staff pretty much completely. But Tom and Tony remember, is we were making our way back through some of the old notices of intent and starting with the more recent one, obviously. Because then it comes up, and you guys will see it sooner or later, because we get a lot of people coming in asking for the certificate of compliance, which they need to have because they're selling the house. And most of the time, they can't even wait for our next meeting. But we were actually going through and assigning here, every commissioner here, you take these two. And here's the phone number for the person, and call them up and, you know, and go take a peek at it and just tell them, and we were sending a letter out to them. It was pretty much a form letter that probably still exists somewhere, you know, that said, we want you to, you know, apply for your certificate of compliance. And it was somewhat successful. We did get a lot of people to send them in and take care of it. And then essentially, it really costs them nothing to do it. There's no fee associated. And it is good for them to do because it allows them to be able to sell their house without scrambling at the last minute to get this done before a closing, which we do 2 or 3 of those a year, I would say at least.
Oh, we've done a lot this time, last year.
Yeah. But when we can pull some of those projects off the project monitoring sheet, but we did all right. I think we knocked off a couple of years of them.
But we kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah, well, yeah, Denise asked us to stop doing it because that was when we just had a temp in the office. Robin was out and Donna was no longer employed. So yeah, we put the brakes on that and a couple other things back then.
question, sorry. So they're sitting on the project monitoring list, waiting for a certificate of compliance? Is
They
that
would be
what
there
it is?
because on the list is the open projects that we have, and it depends how far back you want to go on it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But there is, I have another list too that goes way back to when there's even handwritten ones.
Wow.
Point of order. We need to approve the minutes from last
Yeah.
meeting
Yep.
before we go on.
So everybody good on the project monitoring? All right, next one I skipped over it, not intentionally, but approval of the minutes for January 8th. Comments from anybody? Changes? I'll start then. I had one, because what I didn't see in there was there's nothing in there pertaining to the discussion with Al Joyce regarding the enforcement orders. So I sent Bethany an email. And she got in here, the chair explained that the commission felt compelled to issue the enforcement orders due to inadequate erosion controls, which resulted in noticeable runoff containing the red clay sediment into the resource area and abutting properties. The wetland flagging was also found to be insufficient. Al Joyce argued that the erosion was from root balls of fallen trees in the vicinity, not from inadequate erosion controls. The commission referred to photographs taken that day, January 8th, illustrating erosion controls that had been compromised. Discussion ensued regarding responsibility for ground disturbance and runoff caused by down trees at the site, with the conclusion that the commission and Al Joyce would conduct a site visit on Thursday, January 9th at 11 to inspect the erosion controls, wetland flagging, and ground disturbance from recently felled trees. And then I would like, it was pointed out to Al Joyce that the commission can make recommendations, but is not responsible for the design of the erosion control system, erosion controls. But, and so that's what I would like to add.
Oh, that's not in there, you're saying?
Yeah,
No, that isn't
there
it.
was essentially, there was no discussion with Al.
On top of page 3,
-5,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so right after his
Can you
last
repeat your
one.
sentence one more time?
Pardon me?
Can you please repeat the sentence that you just said?
The last
That was
one?
pointed out.
Yeah, it was pointed out to Al Joyce that the commission can make recommendations, but is not responsible for the design of erosion controls.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other than that, I was fine with the rest of the minutes.
Yep, same
I
here.
have no problem with you putting that into the minutes. You said it once tonight, and I've heard you say it before. I can't recall that you said it at that particular time, but it sounds appropriate.
It's on TV. I checked.
I'll make a motion to add the verbiage that Craig just dictated to the minutes of January 8th, 2020.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
So I will remember to bring it to the next meeting for this
Well, I could sign it if you want to just amend that page.
one. Sure.
That way you don't have to keep it.
Point of order, please. Did we accept the minutes with that? Is that what we just
Actually, I made a motion just to
Right,
to
that's
add
what I
that, so now we
thought.
need a motion to
I'll make a
approve it, right?
motion that
Yeah.
we accept
Thank you.
the
Yep.
minutes as amended.
Entertain a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Francis.
Good pickup, Francis.
Review and comments for planning board from conservation.
Involving the filings at this moment.
I need to go back to the minutes. One of the things that I had on my list that we needed to discuss was it's been 9 months and we're supposed to talk about it every 6 months and just bring it up and go over them, is the review of the executive session minutes, or the release of the executive session minutes from April 10th, 2019. I've had a couple of email exchanges with the town manager about it, and there is still an ongoing issue with that that hasn't been resolved, so we just need to keep it on our list and bring it up again in a little while, but at this point, the town manager is not comfortable with those minutes being released to the public.
It's not on the agenda, gentlemen and ladies, you should not be discussing that item.
And I believe it's acceptable because it doesn't pertain to a filing, but
Sir,
essentially it's just a little housekeeping issue.
sir,
Can we put it on the agenda for our next meeting?
Yes, we can. Mhm. I
Can
tried
we
to
do
get it
that
out,
at this
but with the
meeting?
holiday and everything, it got missed this week. I tried to get it put on the agenda.
so if I may, through the chair, the matter is not resolved, and the matter has been resolved, then we will place the executive minutes on the agenda for acceptance to be released.
Okay, so
Okay.
we just keep looking for it?
We will put them on, the chair can ask about them via email,
Okay.
and we will let him know when they are ready to be placed
Yep.
on the agenda as an item for
Okay.
consideration.
Yeah, I'll be waiting to hear, I'm still waiting to hear from the town manager about it.
Okay. And then it'll go on our agenda.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Policies and procedures, the other one that I had was,
We still have this.
oh, yeah.
Today.
Okay.
Did you see it or not?
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah. We can get that right after we do the land acquisition one too. The other policies and procedures one, for you, Connie, did Mary have a conversation with you about starting to use the reminder for our public notices?
We have discussed using the reminder for all of the boards and commissions. What we do for one, we will do for the other. So we are taking that matter under advisement. I don't disagree that it would be beneficial for all to maybe return to the reminder. If you recall, the problem we had with the reminder was the ads kept getting lost.
How many?
And so, several over the year, not just for the Conservation Commission, but for other boards and commissions. We've also found that to happen with the Republican. So, given the amount of time, though, the leadway time for publishing with the Republican, it was more manageable. You know, with the meetings, every day staff was publicizing or sending an ad or checking on an ad. So it was just seemingly easier to manage with the number of ads that we place with the Republican. There's also the lead time. The reminder publishes once a week, so you have to make sure you're that far out. But we are looking at going back to the reminder, and once we have that matter resolved, we'll let you know.
And
Okay.
and that's good, and, I'm still very much in favor of it. Pretty much the town of Long Meadow uses it, the town of Hamden uses it, and the town council in East Long Meadow uses it, and most other boards and committees and commissions in East Long Meadow use the reminder. And I understand we do have a posting issue, but it's pretty much the same as with a few other boards, and the big reason that I want to do it too is it just frankly gets to more people than the ad in the Springfield newspaper does. And I know you can go on Mass Live and look, but the circulation is 5-6 times as much with the reminder, and it's a lot easier to, because I know it is for me, I open the reminder up and look. I don't want to go searching online to see what there is for public hearings. It's much easier, and a lot of people are accustomed to doing it, and I believe there is a lot of people that are not informed right now about a lot of our meetings. People that show up are mostly abutters that, actually got the letter in the mail, as opposed to other people. And obviously it's less costly to the applicant, which, I would say just provides some better customer service. The applicant does have to pay for it, but the reminder, or the Springfield newspaper is significantly more expensive, usually about a third higher. Anybody have anything else for policies and procedures, or I guess we can bring
Well,
other one up,
this
but-
basically is a policy, so this is something that Aaron had forwarded after our last meeting. This relates to, the actual title of it is Conservation Commission Policy on Accepting Land Donations, and it was dated 2 February 1997, so it's about 23 years
Yeah.
old.
Yep.
And I think it's something worth taking a look at down the road, to see if we want to update this, make any changes to it. Since we do have this particular parcel that came to us already, and I'd just like to ask, have the Fitzgeralds responded to the letter that was sent, or has the letter been sent to them that I
Yes.
drafted?
Yes, the letter's been sent.
Do we have a response?
They were instructed, I believe, to respond to Greg?
No, they
You?
were,
You?
no, it just said to let us know. So I assumed that,
But didn't you sign it? You
I signed it, yeah.
So they
On
would be
behalf of the
Yeah,
Conservation.
on
Yes,
behalf of the
yeah.
conservation.
On the
So-
whole.
yeah. So I'm just curious if they had responded with any kind of,
Have you received anything? I didn't receive
no,
anything.
okay. No.
So, as soon as we have that, we will certainly let you know.
And
Okay.
if you look at the old policy, technically, you probably really shouldn't be taking it. Because they talked
Is
about
that,
it.
could I
They can-
see that?
Pardon?
Could I,
Yeah, I think I emailed it to you.
Yeah,
I
was he?
didn't get it.
Yeah, I thought I emailed it to everybody.
It's from 97? Is that the one you're talking
Yeah.
about?
Through the chair, if I may, Erin, if you have
Oh.
documents that you'd like to share with the board, you want to send them to us for
I just-
distribution.
This is a printout of
I
that
just printed
email.
what I got.
No, so just so that you know,
Yep,
under the open meeting law, you're
Yep.
not supposed to have a dialogue with your other Conservation Commission members through email, because it could be perceived as a violation of the open meeting law, because you're having a discussion or a deliberation about something that should be openly
Okay.
considered in an open meeting.
even if it's just a listing of an old
Yes,
regulation?
send them through us. So we're the facilitators, so you can send it to Bethany and she'll distribute it. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay,
why
I'll
don't
just
you
look,
come
yeah.
in, we're going to set up an email for you also
Mhm,
through
mhm.
the IT department.
Mhm.
Did you hear from anyone yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so come in.
Okay.
Maybe not
Great.
this week, because
She just sent it to
maybe
you,
early
send it to
next
us.
week, come in,
Okay.
we have
Okay.
things
She
to
sent
take
it
care
to
of,
us.
some
I
housekeeping.
sent it to everybody.
Give Bethany a call and see what time will work for her.
Absolutely, okay, yep.
All right.
If I may.
So- Can I make a motion to just put the land acquisition form on the agenda for review? That way we can take a look at that antiquated thing that looks like it was written for
Yeah.
specific
For our
purposes.
next agenda.
Yep.
Could
And
you
then we
resend
can
this
go over
to-
it.
Yeah,
Could you resend it, please?
sure. But I don't believe we even have to take a,
Understand that she didn't want me to-
No.
We'll just
vote
get it
that.
on the
We'll
agenda.
just put it on the agenda, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
And yeah, if anybody wants to, make some comments or whatever for the next meeting, then
Okay.
yeah, we'll see what we can do about revising that. That would be great.
If I may, to clarify, Erin did not disseminate it to the entire board. There was no discussion on it. She simply sent it to Craig. Craig
No, I sent it.
disseminated it.
No, he sent it to all of us, he sent it to all of us.
I did, yeah.
But there was no discussion.
There was no discussion.
So.
And I just printed it out because I thought it was fast, I wanted to learn.
Sure, absolutely. But just moving forward, just be mindful, remember that you should be sending things to us and then we'll distribute them.
Then it would have been in our packet.
Okay?
Thank
So
you.
everybody
Okay.
has everything.
Okay, okay.
Sound good?
Yep.
Thanks.
So it'll be on our next agenda. Thank you. Question, Craig?
Mhm.
Are we going to do this?
Yeah, that was the next one I was going to bring up.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Letter from National Grid about some work on east side of Kibbe Road, I believe would be correct. They did some things on the west side of it last year, or a couple years ago. And they are citing in there why they don't need to do a notice of intent or anything like that with the exemptions, and I believe they are correct in it. But if
So
someone
that's on the east side of Kibbe Road?
Yes.
Yeah, not the Hoover's Quarry side, the Long Meadow side, towards that other little quarry.
That's, yeah. So it's on the Hoover's Quarry side.
They did Hoover's Quarry side a couple years ago.
So it's the quarry that's behind John Romito's
There's
house.
a larger map.
Yeah.
That little, it's not on the east side, that would be the west side.
Oh,
wouldn't it
it's
be?
west side.
Yeah, but Hoover's is the west. No, yeah, correct. Hoover's is the east
All
side.
right, so you.
Yeah, Hoover's is the east side,
The
the west side.
project's on the west side?
Correct,
Okay,
yes,
all
my
right.
bad.
Yeah, me.
And if some of us, and they are exempt, it's one of the things that is in the regulations, but if some of us remember, and I just wanted to bring it out for some of the newer members also, the last time that they did a filing was that one that we went over and looked at, that was off of the Deer Park
Calendar.
Industrial Park.
Right.
And we went
Oh,
behind the
right.
building there, but the only reason they did that filing, if you recall, is because they actually cut down a bunch of trees. Which,
And they had to drop down into the wetland.
yeah, which does not appear that is happening with this one.
They were changing the poles too, weren't they changing?
Yeah, they're changing that corner structure, or,
Well, they're
That's my
changing out the
interpretation of it.
the wood poles to metal poles.
Right.
And because to get the machinery in there to do that, they had to cut down some trees, and they were gonna go a little bit down the hill towards, into the wetlands.
But, yeah, I don't have any issues with this, and
No, I don't see it.
we'd be hard pressed if we did to have anything happen with it. The utility
Yeah.
exemption.
generally they come before us and make a presentation, but.
Well, Petition policy. Does anybody have anything else for this evening?
Sorry, did we complete this?
Yep.
The National Grid? We approved
Yeah.
it, or I didn't hear?
We didn't even have
Oh, we don't.
We don't have.
They're just telling us they're doing it.
Right, just let us know.
It's just
like
an
a-
option.
If we wanted to, we could ask them to do an RDA or a notice of intent, but,
So it's just.
and it's just, yeah, it's kind of a moot point.
It's basically information.
That's what I thought.
Question for Bethany, do we have any, when did I miss two, was I, did I miss something tonight? Yeah, no, attention. We have any new filings for the next meeting? There's a good chance we might not meet next time.
I think there might be a certificate of compliance and phone call about it today, so depending
Okay.
on when they have one. Other than that, it's nothing.
But the deadline was pretty much today, tomorrow, but I know we do those.
Yeah, so that's a call.
I guess if they do when it comes in, if you could ask them, if they would mind waiting a month.
Sure.
I mean, if that's all we're having a meeting for, but sometimes those are the ones that are the emergency ones, they got a sale pending, so,
That's usually why they're doing
but,
it.
yeah.
Well, just so that you know, if there is a sale pending, they do this general housekeeping after the fact anyway, so it's possible. It happens all the time in real estate closings, so we try to comply, but we can certainly take care of the detail. Before you adjourn, periodically I come across information when I'm looking for something else, and the town of Lincoln has pretty terrific checklist for filing in a notice of intent or request for determination of applicability. Want to take a look at this? It's spells everything out. It's very well executed and easy to follow. I can email it to you. I think that it's important that applicants know what it is that they're submitting. Everybody's on the same level playing field. That you have all the materials that you need so that you can review, and there's consistency and clarity.
Send away.
Like in Sudbury, where the hell
Thank
is
you.
that? It's like
Lincoln,
New
isn't that
Bedford?
Just
that's
outside
south
of the loop.
Yeah, it's right near New
It's
Bedford.
outside of 128, kind of above Waltham.
So the Lincoln
Great
Institute of
It's in the big
Policy.
money area.
You've heard of
Is
the
it?
Lincoln
Oh, is it?
Institute of Land
Lincoln
Policy?
Sudbury is an extremely wealthy community.
I went to their amusement park when I was about 7.
That's actually
Lincoln Park.
in Dartmouth, the Lincoln Park. That Lincoln Park was in Dartmouth and Westport off of Route 6
Oh,
on the south coast. Not the same town.
Just said Lincoln Park.
Not the one that's next to Sudbury?
He's talking about something else. He's talking about an amusement park.
Oh, okay.
Can I, say chair?
Big picture
Do
of
I-
Abe Lincoln.
Yeah, raise your hand.
Anybody else have anything?
I just have a couple questions being new to the board. How am I required to take care of these documents? Every week we get, every time we meet, we get them? How do you guys handle them after the meeting?
I hand 80% of it back.
Oh, okay.
I would suggest if there's something that's been continued for a case, maybe
Right.
keep a hold of that.
Yeah,
for the
like
next
keep a
meeting.
folder.
Yeah, but
Okay.
if it's one and done, then
Okay, just
you
shred
don't
it up.
have a need for it, then
Okay.
you can give it back.
What I find, like, and you'll see on a bigger project, like Hidden Ponds, I have a couple of
that.
this drawing, but I have one of these, which is the whole plan, but it's in an 11 by 17.
Okay,
And one of the other things that I like to hang on to that I find useful is to keep a copy of the order of conditions.
okay.
But all the pages of every notice of intent, no, and even like this one, I still have it, but it's probably pretty close where I don't need this anymore.
Okay,
We, at our next meeting, we do, our order of conditions that we issue after they do a notice of intent. I have the order and I have this drawing,
yeah,
usually good to go to monitor the project.
okay. So I'm not required to hold on to things or keep them or?
You can hang on to whatever you want, but
Yep.
go buy
Okay,
another
I got it.
four-drawer
It's a-
file
okay,
cabinet.
fine.
But basically, just so you
5
know,
years, you can
the
call
office
orders.
maintains a
File.
copy of everything.
Okay,
So-
okay, so if I needed it, I just asked you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
And one other question towards you, Connie, when you came upon the Lincoln, what websites do you look at for do you go on the town websites to look for other board's kind of, written policies?
I was actually doing some research for the planning board for another case, and I came across, I was in Lincoln site.
Right.
That's, I
So
generally.
on the town site?
Town site,
Because I was
yeah.
thinking if we want to revise some of our
Yeah.
policies, it
Yes.
might be good to look at other town.
I go on them all the time.
Yeah.
Really? So I
Right.
just
All the
go on
time.
the town site?
Just go on their
and go onto
conservation
their-
page, yep.
Okay.
Also, sorry, suggestion, once you're a member of MACC.
I am.
Okay.
Yep.
On their website,
Mhm.
they make suggestions about certain towns that are models.
Okay. Oh, I think I read
And,
something on that.
That's great, there's a lot of good ideas there.
And Frances is going to the MACC conference. She is a scholarship recipient. Congratulations to Frances.
Thank you. Yeah.
Is anybody else?
Would like to go? Would you like to go?
Okay, okay. Anybody-
Where's that?
February
29th.
29th, Saturday.
Yeah, I'm in on that.
Leap year day.
It's
I'm in on that,
It's,
for sure.
it's Worcester this time, not all the way down towards Boston.
Yeah,
Right,
I
it's
think the last time I had a hockey tournament, but yeah.
weather permitting.
It's
February
not bad to get to.
29th.
I've been to
It's a
one there
leap year.
before
Is it?
also. I'll let you know
That's a Saturday,
in
right?
the next
Yeah,
week.
Saturday.
Yeah.
February 29th,
But it's an hour ride. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
Holy Cross again, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but as an aside, we've introduced Margaret, and she is going to check into whether, she can go also as a student
That's
representative.
terrific.
Mhm.
So you'll check with your
Mhm.
people here at the high school?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
Is that
it's
what
the
you-
first stop, right?
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
You'll find it pretty interesting.
Okay.
And then maybe we'll carpool.
Yeah.
You might want to print out the schedule of events, so she can maybe see what, unless
I
she...
sent her the email with
Yeah.
everything on it.
Yeah.
You have to sign up for the event you
Yeah,
want.
sometimes
Yes, when you register.
the regular speaker might be something that might not really pertain to us,
Mhm.
particularly if they're talking about a coastal thing.
Right,
So that's where it's good to go to one of the other seminars for that hour or so.
okay. So can I just register? Is that the idea? Do I have to go through you guys?
You can
What's the
register, we pay,
Oh, okay.
so, but it's easier if,
Could I register and just give you the receipt?
given the date, because it's coming up,
Yeah.
so explain.
I would talk to Lindsay, and Lindsay would probably be able to help either just sign you up right away and then send us the invoice, and that would probably be the best way to do it.
Who's Lindsay?
Lindsay, she set you up with your MACC?
Yep.
Yep.
She's great.
Yeah,
Yeah, she is.
she really is.
So I'd send her an email and copy me in it, and just say that you want to sign up for that event, and then ask her to send me the invoice.
Tell us about Francis's scholarship.
Well, when they sent, I can tell you, because when they sent the email about the conference, they said we have a limited number of scholarships if you're
20 to be
interested.
exact.
25 there were.
25?
25.
Oh, the email said 20, so.
Oh, maybe 20, I probably maybe forgot. But anyway, it said there was a time deadline, so I texted or emailed back and said I'm interested.
But it was only for new commissioners appointed as of January 1st.
Of this year, yeah.
Well, I think it was January 1st of last year to
this year.
to the conference.
2019.
Yeah.
Nice.
So Erin, it might not, maybe there's still some money available, I would check out if
I don't think so.
I thought there was one in town. I thought I saw something like
Yeah,
that.
there's
It never
only-
hurts to ask.
It's,
Yeah.
yeah, there might be.
Oh, yeah, you might
It
get
never
it.
hurts to ask.
If
so
you can
just-
get it for free, do it.
Just ask
Great
her if there are
conference.
any more scholarships.
All right, sometimes people come and go.
Or they pull back,
Summer
pull out
conference.
at the last minute, yeah.
So, can you email us by Monday? Let us know if you're going, definitely.
I'm definitely going.
Oof.
I'm definitely going.
Only because,
Yeah.
so the accounting some of the town hall offices are moving.
Oh,
Again?
I'm not involved in that one.
Yeah, so the submittal of the warrant, so for reimbursement, the dates have shifted. So that's why I'm a little concerned about making sure that you all get registered. Okay, so if you could let us know by Monday? Please.
Is this me are you I'm telling you, yes, I'm going?
I've got you down as
Okay.
yes, you're going.
Just wanted to make sure.
But we want to know.
Save the money.
You have to
If you don't
communicate
get
with
the
us.
scholarship.
Yeah, and do let us know, get the
What
invoice.
she says, sure, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm excited that you're going. It's really fun. I've been. It's very interesting, so.
Yes, I've learned a lot,
Yeah.
the ones I've been to
Yeah, I'm
also.
excited.
And you meet a
You meet
lot
Mark
of people.
Stinson.
Yeah.
He's roaming the halls.
I don't know.
He's their circuit rider, the EP circuit rider.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All righty. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Seconded.
All those in favor?
Aye.